Hello, welcome to the Plan to Play Greensboro Parks and Recreation Comprehensive Master Plan, and thank you for joining us today. The goal of this brief presentation is to introduce the Plan to Play Master Plan process and present Greensboro's history, the current state of its parks, and the future for Greensboro's community and its system. After the presentation, please join us in the lobby and give us your ideas for the future. Greensboro's vision for its park and recreation system is rooted in bettering the community it serves. This master plan will investigate how the system serves the community today and identify opportunities for the department to enhance it in the future. The Plan to Play master plan is happening over a 9-month time frame. This is the first opportunity to share your thoughts during the process. There will be many more over the next several months. In Phase 1, we're collecting data and gathering opinions to document the current state of the system. In Phase 2, we will develop a collective vision for the future of the system. In Phase 3, we will draft a plan for implementation and maintenance and management of the system moving forward, which we will review with the community before finalizing and approving the final plan in Phase 4. The engagement strategy for this planning effort is multifaceted and includes a statistically valid survey, community sessions like this one, visits to neighborhood meetings, stakeholder interviews with staff, an online survey, and poster campaign in your local recreation centers and libraries. The big picture focuses on Greensboro's unique features, its ecology, history, and noteworthy investments in the system. Parks and open space networks are an integral part of our health and well-being. The Piedmont Land Conservancy aptly stated that as our community grows, we need to continue to preserve those natural resources that have provided us with clean water, air, and spaces to play and relax. Greensboro, identified in yellow, is a city of hills, dales, creeks, and lakes. The ecology of the city exists both in these upland hills and the lowland creeks. As Greensboro grew, these lowlands were deemed unbuildable and were preserved as park spaces. You will notice that most of our parks and open spaces follow a creek or stream. However, these spaces are connected to one another by roads and new development, creating gaps in trail systems and open space networks. The gaps in trail and open space networks do not only restrict recreation and community connections to nature. These gaps also disconnect habitat corridors that wildlife rely on to safely migrate from one place to another. The ecological health of Greensboro's watersheds is also impacted by stormwater runoff, invasive plants, and long-term restoration efforts like the no-mow policy, which aims to strengthen water edges from erosion and further degradation. Greensboro was founded at the geographic center of Guilford County. It quickly became an industrial center of activity and grew its borders to support economic growth. The diverse communities the city annexed over time contribute to Greensboro's unique history and culture. The state recently passed legislation to limit opportunities for annexation. The black outline you see on this map is unlikely to change. More recently, in the past 10 years, Greensboro has invested in creating new parks, trails, and facilities, and improved many of its existing facilities. In this phase, we will also ask ourselves how the system is performing today. How does it perform in relation to its peers, and how will it continue to perform in the future? The state of the system summarizes our findings related to quantity and quality of recreation and open space amenities and accessibility to those assets. Quality of life is central to the department's mission. It's also central to the decisions of potential businesses and residents. Vibrant and diverse parks and recreation offerings contribute to a strong public realm and healthy, high quality of life. Here, we identify each of Greensboro's assets as icons. The parks are labeled in green, and two larger outdoor venues are shown in red. Greensboro has 10.2 acres of parks per 1,000 residents, which is just better than the national average of 10 acres per 1,000 people. However, Greensboro could benefit from more amenities that are appropriate to the needs of our current population. Beyond playgrounds and courts, the city lacks diverse amenities that could be comparable systems maintain. In the following bar charts, We compare existing supply against the existing target quantity of parks and trails. The city is projected to grow by about 45,000 people over the next 20 years, which increases the target demand for open spaces and trails. Although the city is well served by park space today, in the next 20 years, Greensboro needs to increase its park space by about 200 acres. Today, the city lags behind national standards for trails. Greensboro has a deficit of about 15 miles of trails, which when you include all trails maintained not only by the city, but also the county, federal trails, and privately owned trails, this collectively more than accounts for today's need and the need for trails in the future. Greensboro has many flexible amenities, which include a number of playgrounds, rectangular playing fields, tennis courts, and picnic shelters. For this, Greensboro has ample amenities. There's also room to expand and diversify their offerings, mainly for basketball, softball, baseball, playgrounds, gardens, and dog parks. The quantity of amenities is not the only way this plan will review the state of the system. In the next phase of the plan, we will look at maintenance strategies that consider quality across the system to better understand existing and future demands. Now that we've briefly touched on what you have and where there are opportunities for changes, we would like to close with a better understanding of the needs of Greensboro's community today and in the future. Health and wellness are intrinsically tied to the services that recreation amenities and parks provide. We see this plan as an opportunity to infuse health and wellness into the city's culture. As we mentioned previously in the presentation, Greensboro, although it's not expanding its physical boundaries, will grow by 45,000 people by 2038. Growth in older adults and young people between the ages of 18 to 34 will most likely continue to increase as well. Greensboro, a city that celebrates its ethnic and racial diversity, could become even more diverse over the next 20 years, which is something we need to consider as part of this plan. And it all starts with today. This is a map of Greensboro that combines density, access to a car, racial equity, income below the poverty line, and very young and old residents. The darkest red zones on the map identify areas of highest need in the community. Based on this evaluation, areas east and southwest of downtown have the highest need for community amenities in the city. When you compare the community need map to one concerning physical access, there are several clear comparisons between community need and park amenities. The majority of east and southeast Greensboro are well served by parks within a half-mile distance. In northwest Greensboro, where community need is lower, there are also less city-owned accessible open spaces. In the next phase of analysis, this process will be testing quality and maintenance of these park and recreation amenities to ensure they are serving the populations that surround them. Now, we would like to hear your opinions. Let's take a quick break, and then we would like you to join us in the lobby for discussions about your daily experiences in the park, opportunities for growth or change, and your wish for the future of the system. Thank you again for joining us today. We truly appreciate your time.